Hello everyone, I'm here with one of the videos that is pawn ending video. So in this example, in this particular position, we'll be working on how to promote the pawn to queen to the queening square. So it's one of the basic positions of endgame, but many people misplay this because lack of technique. So today I'm going to teach you that technique how to promote the pawn to queening square. All right. Um, in this example, we'll be using two important techniques. One is key squares, another is opposition. Opposition means when kings are facing each other with one square gap between them, or three squares between them, or five squares between them. So that I will explain when the kings appear in that particular situation. Okay. So now let's start with the technique of how to promote the pawn to queening. But one thing you have to remember, you should not push the pawn first, because your opponent king will come up and will block your pawn. So that's why the technique involves getting the king ahead of the pawn first and to hold the opposition. After holding the opposition, you have to occupy the key squares. What is the key square? That also I'll explain when it comes to when pawn reaches to fourth rank or fifth rank, then I will explain you that. Okay. All right. First, let's start with getting the king ahead of the pawn. Okay. So first we will take king to f2 or d2. See, there are name of the squares. This is C. In the d file, second square is d2. Look here. This is d file, and this is the second square in the d file. You can recognize that, right? Yeah. So this is d2. Either you have to take the king to d2 or king to f2 in the first place, because you need to take the king ahead of the pawn. That's all. Okay, all right. Let's take king to f2, and your opponent will try to hold opposition. As I already told you opposition, I will explain you opposition in the meantime. Okay, they'll try to hold opposition. What is the opposition? If there are five squares gap between both the kings, or three squares gap between both the kings, or one square gap between both the kings. That is odd number of squares gap should be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, there are five squares, and after that, one will move the king to next square. So that is king f8. This is holding the opposition. Okay, all right. But black is holding opposition. It means whoever is holding opposition, they will have some advantage of, let's say, if you have extra pawn, there is an advantage of winning the game. If you are pawn down, if you are playing only with king, there is an advantage of drawing the match, because no matter what, black will not win the match. So that's why if someone is trying to win, that is only white. So that's the reason black will try to hold the position. Black will try to draw the match. Okay. All right. So should white move the pawn? Definitely not, because white has to get the king ahead of the pawn. Okay. So white will play king f3. Now black will also try to hold the opposition. As I already told you, opposition is kings should face each other with the 5, 3, or 1 square gap between them. Now let's count. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there are 3 square gap, and if king goes to f7, this is f7. In the f5, 7 square is f7. Okay. If black king goes to f7, then there is an opposition. Black is holding opposition. As I already told you, if you hold opposition, that means you are having some kind of advantage. But in this particular position, white will get back the opposition. White will be able to hold opposition later. That I will explain. There is one more technique in that. Yeah. So black played king to f7, and white is playing king to f4, or maybe white can go to king to e4. No problem. That is also fine. Okay. King e4 or king f4, both are same, both are possible. Okay, let's see here. What should black play? Take a moment, pause the video for some time, few seconds, then you can think what is the best move for black. I hope you got it. That is king to e6. Correct? Because look, between both the kings, how many square gap is there between both the kings? That is one square gap. This is called close opposition. Close opposition is when there is only one square gap between both the kings, that is close opposition. If there are three square gap or five square gap between both the kings, that is distant opposition. Okay, so here black is holding opposition. White should get back the opposition. All of you think for a few seconds again. Take pause the video and think for a few seconds and come up with a move. Afterwards, continue running the video. Okay, yeah. That means here. Okay, let me wait for a few seconds. Okay, you might have got now. Okay, that is, if white tries to move king anywhere, let's say king d4, king will go to d6. King e4, king will go to e6. King f4, black king will go to f6 to hold a position. That's right, what you thought is right. Again, king going back to e4, black will go to e6. There is something called repetition of the moves. I think you all are aware of that. If you repeat the same moves 3 times, white also should play same moves, even black also should play same moves. That is a repetition of the moves. That is called threefold repetition. If in the position with threefold repetition, the game will be draw. Black is happy to draw the match because black can't win this position. That's why white is the one who is trying to win the match. So will change from the actual repeating the moves and should continue with the one of the moves that is called pawn e3. Now, effectively, white is holding the opposition, right? Yeah. Now let's see. Okay, so I already spoke about the key square. As of now, ignore the kings. Just consider only pawn. For pawn only, there will be key squares, and king should occupy those key squares. Let's say if pawn is in third rank, pawn is in third rank, right? So if pawn is in third rank, there are 3 key squares in the fifth rank. That is pawn square 5, left side and right side. These 3 are the key squares for the pawn. White should try to occupy those squares. Okay. If pawn is in fourth rank, if pawn is in fifth rank, and if pawn is in sixth rank, how you have to consider key squares, that I will tell you in some time. Okay. Yeah. So now we will consider the key squares with respect to pawn which is on the third rank. Okay. Yeah. So here black to play because white played pawn to e3 and it's black's turn. Black has to go to either to d6 or f6. If black king goes to d6, then you have to occupy one of the key squares. That is, I will show you again the key squares. This is if pawn is on e3. So one rank gap you have to leave, and pawn on e5, d5, and f5. These are the key squares. So which key square white can occupy all of it? Of course, there is only one square which white can occupy. Because white can't go to d5 or d5, or sorry, d5 or e5, because those 2 squares are controlled by black king. So that's why you have to play king f5. This is the correct answer. Whenever you are able to occupy key square, you must go for it. Okay? Yeah. So black king will go to d7, you can say, or e7, anywhere it can be, doesn't make any difference. But black king should not go to d5 normally because the e pawn will go up with check, followed by after king d6, king will go to f6, and same thing will continue. Okay, I mean white will definitely win this position. So black king is going to e7. After black king goes to e7, white has to again hold opposition. So please find the correct continuation for white. I will please pause the video for a few seconds again. Whenever I am asking you to pause the video, please pause and think by yourself. Okay. I hope you might have got now. You might have paused the video. Many of you didn't pause. I know that, but still, it's okay. That's fine, but you should try to pause it. Okay. Yeah. So King E5 is the move which for the opposition for opponent. Now, if it is again white's turn, white would have played pawn to E4 and held back the opposition. But it is black's turn. So white need not have to worry about pushing the pawn. So King E5 and black king will go to either F7 or D7, doesn't make any difference. Okay, let's say King F7. But here, white should not push the pawn. If white pushes the pawn, it's wrong because black will get back and hold the position. That's why white has to go for kind of outflanking. Outflanking usually is nothing but occupying the key normal, but not in all the positions outflanking occupying the key square, but in this exact position. Of course, key squares are on d5 and f5 now, but king d6 is one of the good moves where you are trying to get your king very close to queening square of the pawn. That is, this is the queening square. Okay. All right. So black will play king f6, let's say, or king e8. Doesn't make any difference. If king e8, we should go king e6. Let's work on king f6. Now, after king f6, you can't move on because you can't leave the pawn isolated. If you move up, then black king will go there and capture your pawn. So that's why you have to take the pawn also along. One thing you have to understand, king should be ahead of the pawn in all king and pawns of king positions. Okay. Yeah. Now king f7. After king f7, again you should push the pawn because you can't move on. If you go up, it's not a mistake, but black king will go to f6 and try to go to e5 and try capturing the pawn. That's why again you have to return back. That's why you should not go to d7. Once king is on f7, just push the pawn because you are already occupying key square. Because listen here, if pawn is in the fourth rank, there are three key squares. Again, leave one rank gap on pawn file square and left side and right side square. So you are already occupying key square, so no need to worry. Again, you should push the pawn to fifth rank. Here, when pawn was on third rank and fourth rank, there were three key squares. That is, if pawn is in third rank, three key squares in fifth rank, and if pawn was in fourth rank, three key squares in the sixth rank. But now, when pawn reaches to fifth rank, that is when it crosses first half of the board, it is there will be six key squares. I need to say. Okay, sorry for the little pause. Okay, yeah, there will be six key squares. That is, you need not have any rank gap here. The three squares, that is E6, F6, and D6, as well as E7, F7, and D6. These six key squares will be. Pawn is in the fifth rank. So now black will play king to E8. After king E8, you should not push the pawn to sixth rank now because your opponent will hold the opposition and you'll be unable to win the match. That's why you should hold the opposition now. Again, pause the video and think about what is the correct opposition which you have to hold now. All right, I hope you might have got it. King E6 is the which you hold the opposition. That is one square gap between both the things. Now king will go to either to D6 or sorry, not D6, D8 or F8. Fine, doesn't make any difference. Let's say king D8. You should go king to F7 because you need to go and very close and control the queen square, and also you are occupying the key square. When pawn is in sixth rank, six squares will be there. Let's put in yellow. Yeah, these six are the key squares. Sorry. So king f7, and you are already controlling the queen square. So black will play king d7 or something. You push the pawn to sixth rank. King c7 or d6 doesn't make any difference. E7, e7, yeah. King d7 will go e8 queens, and after king will go to d6 or c7, doesn't make any difference. Then you control the game with the queen, and you should be able to checkmate the king. I mean, black king with the king and queen versus king. Okay, that lesson I will teach you one of the videos again. Okay, so as of now, we will limit ourselves to this particular promoting the point of view. So remaining stuff we'll work in the next class. I mean, next lesson, next video. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.